And then they did the package for the main event, North American title, Velveteen Dream against Roderick Strong. Obviously, I know Roddy. I have heard Velveteen Dream's name, and it is a bit unwieldy. I had never seen him. During the package, I'm thinking it's a bit much. I'm ready not to like it. But I ended up liking it. It's not overly goofy. And the kid can work. You can tell he's green. Well, we'll get into it. But from the start, Roddy looks like he doesn't age. He's lost a little hair, as far as I can tell. He looks great physically. He's always in shape. You can't run this fucking guy down. He was the guy to always go to have a great world title match or a great main event match in Ring of Honor. He struggled badly with his promos then, and I haven't heard him talk live now, but the stuff in the package that he did, he got a pretty good game face there at the end when I left Ring of Honor, but his promos were still rough because he has a certain tonal quality that just doesn't give you the shivers, like if fucking Morgan Freeman was cussing you out, you motherfucker, Yeah. But on the package he sounded better there too. And that was really Roddy's only weakness in the wrestling business was his promos. Velveteen Dream's entrance, I hate to say it, it almost kind of moves into a guilty pleasure fucking area for me because it's a little much, but there's something.
Because it's Earth, Wind, and Fire and Princess enough.
Yeah,
you can like it. That's why it's your guilty pleasure.
Yeah. The match, they started with good, tight wrestling. Roddy is so smooth, and he was obviously leading this match. The Velveteen Dream you can tell he's green. I think they said he's 22 or 23, but he's got tremendous potential, and he's doing some good stuff. And this match, they gave some time. I don't know why they don't pitch to the fucking break. I think that's a Kevin Dunn thing, too. Or somebody in production up there, because they'll say this match continues or this match rages on, but then they'll just go to, what is the matter with saying, the champion is in jeopardy. Can fucking Velveteen Dream pull it or whatever the fuck? We'll be right back after this. Stay here for 2 minutes, whatever. Just pitch to the fucking break. We know it's coming. It's goofy. But they came back in a running spot. Glory, hallelujah. I explained that on the show here not long ago, didn't I?
Yeah.
Maybe they've been listening. For the new listeners, when you come back from a commercial break and the wrestlers are in the ring having the match and they're in a fucking hold and stationary, you're a fucking idiot if you come back there because it's boring. What I always did, any show I produced, whether it was OVW, Ring of Honor, whatever the fuck, or in TNA when I was producing a particular match, when we went to commercial break and we had our option of when to come up, if it wasn't live or even if it was live, the referees have IFBs. I would give the referee the Iggy to have them start a spot. Just punch the button, say, get them running. We're up in 5. And then you don't come up on a stationary hold. You come up when a guy is flying off the ropes and hits with a tackle and another one. And that way the announcer, sometimes it was me as well, could be calling the match and then welcome people back. Shoulder tackle off the ropes, drop down to evade, hip toss by Roderick Strong, Velveteen Dream on the offensive here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Whatever the fuck. I love that because it's more energy. So they came back in a running spot. I like that. I think Velveteen Dream needs higher waisted tights. He doesn't have to go all the way Bobo Brazil, but he needs to have his pants up higher because it wasn't that his ass was showing. It was that point where his tights and back were at the goofy looking area in between where they're supposed to be and where they'd show the crack of your ass. It just looked goofy. He needs to bring his pants up. Roddy got good heat on him. Those great chops. I don't know how Roddy gets that. His chops sound like Walter's, but his hands are half size. Roddy has more facials and more personality, that he's projecting more passion than he used to. He went for a surfboard at one time and I think Dream kind of jerked his arm out because he didn't know where it was going and he muffed it up, but he covered it up well. But they built this match. they started out with good tight wrestling and some holds and some counters, and then they built up to some running action. And then the heavier strikes came in. Velveteen Dream, his first comeback that he blew, it was a good comeback, but I thought Roddy, he was trying to feed the energy of the comeback, but if you go back and watch it, he bumped up or he bumped down and got back up so fast, it was too fast. It was like down, up, down, up, down, up, where he was trying to feed so fast that he was not selling or even really registering the bump that he had taken previously. I think, they could have slowed that down a little bit and he could have staggered a little bit more. It would have been even better. But Dream's got a nice super kick. They did some nice back and forth stuff. Everything made sense. Roddy hits some great forearm strikes. That thing he does where he hits the ropes and he's got the guy hanging on the ropes and he comes off and boom, pickles him with one arm and then hits the ropes on the other side and comes and pickles him with the other one. I like that shit. The best part of the match to me was right there when he'd hit Dream with the power bomb and turned him into the stronghold, the Boston Crab. And not only did Velveteen Dream have those facials where he was selling it and he was screaming, but he crawled in just enough time where it wasn't too long, wasn't too short, wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. It was just right, and got that rope break, and the people went nuts on the rope break. Tell me one fucking garbage death match wrestler that's ever had a crowd of people go nuts for a rope break. That's the way it's supposed to be done, boys.
They only go nuts for a rib break or a leg break.
Or when you slice several major nerves and have to have them grafted from other parts of your body, and it could take years to regrow the complete use if that happens. I bet that gets a nice little pop from the crowd. Anyway, so then right at that super rope break, but they're both selling now, and this is the perfect time for here comes Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish to come down ringside. And, I'm a fan of Cole and O'Reilly and actually Bobby Fish too. We got him in there right just before I was gone from Ring of Honor, but he's always been, he's a great technician and he works good, I think, in this group because he's the oldest, but he hangs with them physically. Anyway, I was more than pleased to see that Velveteen Dream shot Roderick Strong off and backdropped him. I haven't seen a goddamn backdrop in a wrestling match so long. It used to be my favorite thing to see, the big backdrop. Nobody even knows how to do one anymore. Then the points are deducted because the referee, whoever he was, I didn't hear a name, horribly out of place for his bump. It was the deal where Roddy was down on his ass and Dream was closing in on him, and Roddy was going to fucking grab the Dream front of his tights and fall backwards and propel the Dream supposedly into the turnbuckles, but the referee was supposed to be there so he could get pancaked. Well, if it had been the other way around, I think they could have saved it because Roddy wouldn't have done this, but the referee was obviously not in the right place. Roddy had his back to the whole thing, so he is trusting the referee to have got it in there. When he grabs the tights and falls backwards, Velveteen Dream sees the referee's nowhere in front of him. So as he's going, he tries to stick his right arm out, like maybe the referee will walk in front of it, but the referee did not. So Dream goes past the referee with his arm outstretched, and then the referee phantom bumps. And the people started booing and grumbling.
Can't really blame him.
And no, and here's the thing. That's the kind of, all these fans deducted a few stars because, oh gosh, he didn't hit him. But that's the kind of thing that in the old days would have hurt the town. If, at least it's not going to do that in this case. But, and people understand when I say hurt the town. They don't use that term anymore. If you did something to hurt the town at a live event, it meant that somebody went down from a phantom blow or something like this was obviously phony. And you could tell because the next few houses or several houses, the ticket sales would be down. If something like this happened in the Louisville Gardens in 1978, it would take 3, 4 weeks, however long, depending on what the egregiousness was of the offense, before the taste was out of their mouth, and it would actually hurt the town when something obviously phony took place, which is why all these things became rules for a reason. Nobody in wrestling did things that were obviously phony, because every time they did, it hurt the ticket sales. You had a marker, you had a measuring stick, what you could quantify whether the town was doing good or not. And every time somebody would come back in the locker room and say, well, that may have killed a fucking town. If it was that bad, if they weren't just joking, if it was that bad, you could tell. It would hurt the town. Anyway, so the referee goes down from the invisible bump, and the people are grumbling, but that's when the heels could do their interference. And it was great that, once again, rather than just them just jumping in and doing something, the Dream nails them all off the apron or does whatever. But then Roddy comes back with the diversion and hits one of those big backbreakers. I don't know how he fucking does it, where he suplexes the guy up in the air and spins him around, and then the guy lands on his knees. And it was a false finish, but the fans went batshit for that one because they thought that was going to be the finish. That was a good one false finish to put in because they figured after the interference, that would be it. And then Dream goes the top and Cole super kicks him while the referee's distracted. And Roddy hits the same backbreaker again. And this time, boom, 1, 2, 3 gets it. And I thought that was a great match, especially for the one guy being a pro for a couple of years, however long.
I thought it was good. I was never a big Roderick Strong fan in Ring of Honor for no particular reason. I just thought he was bland, I guess, maybe. But
he was it. I mean, I like Roddy, but I mean, and I've come out and said almost as much. He was bland because he got the physical part very early, but it took a while for the personality to come out and for the facial expressions to come out, and also because he had such a baby face. And that's where the expression came from. Your smiling, young, good-looking baby face, right? But it was such a baby face. And and his promos he struggled with. So I could agree with you there. And he looks like he's got some more oomph to him now that he's gotten older and roughed up around the edges.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's a good group, a good faction.
Yes, and they've got all the belts. So the undisputed era but anyway, so point is, I could have give a shit about the girls' match. I liked the, one move squash for what it was. And Roderick Strong and Velveteen Dream had a very good match. And I can see that Dream has some personality that people get into. Was the next Stone Cold Steve Austin on this program? No, he was not. However, they didn't do anything stupid. They didn't do anything mocking the business. They didn't do anything ridiculous or silly. Everybody worked hard. It was professionally done on everybody's parts. The announcing was not amateurish. They didn't have any cringes in there. Nobody stuck his hands in his pockets and tried to wrestle. So hopefully All Elite Wrestling has got it out of their fucking system with these big shows that they've done primarily for their core audience, because if they put that shit on television opposite a professional production with professional announcers and quality talent that don't make fun of anything, and they're trying to get you invested emotionally in these people, they're going to get their ass kicked.